Hey guys, we're here at the PRI show in the Racing Electronics booth. I'm Ashley Stremme, and joining me is none other than the legend, Ken Schrader.
I'm just old, not a legend.
You are an older legend, but I'm glad you brought that up because we'll start off with that right away. 50 years of racing this year, 2020, pretty cool stuff. What's it going to look like for you?
Hell of a good start, huh? I mean, I got this thing dialed. You know, I had missing my January races and my February races, so I go get tuned up. But yeah, we're just doing the same thing. I mean, that's, you know, that 50 years is real cars. It's not counting the go-karts and the quarter midgets. That stuff don't count. Drives me crazy when the 20-year-old kid has been racing 18 years, 17 years. You haven't been racing 17. Go race against the grown-ups. But anyway, it's I'm excited. We're going to do the same thing again, run modified quite a bit, some IMCA, UMP, USRA, just run wherever and go drive something else every now and then.
I know you always play things down, and that's why I want to talk about the legend deal, because 50 years is pretty incredible. And Ken, you've done some amazing things in your career, from everything from Silver Crown to USAC to NASCAR, you name it. 50 years, I know you've got a ton of stories because we get to share them on the road. That's the beauty of him running modifieds. We get to get together more often than not, and we tell some pretty good stories, and we can't tell them all, unfortunately. But in the 50 years that you've been doing this, what's one story that you really can look back on and go, man, that really was a turning point in my career, or it really stands out for me?
Oh, I mean, there's always the things that help you get going. I mean, it's huge. We had our biggest probably day in our career right down here at Terre Haute, Indiana. I went to drive a Silver Crown car for the first race. And I mean, I'm excited beyond belief. Driving for Diz Wilson, an older owner in the series. We get run over in hot laps. I haven't got the green flag yet. Someone come flying in. It was a little slimy, and they hit the left front and knocked the axle out. I'm done, you know. So Gary Bettenhausen was racing Pancho Carter for a championship. It was 1980, and they had a spare car. Had A.J. Foyt's name on it, where he'd run it to Hoosier 100 in September. They told me to go down there and ask him to drive it. And I said, you got to be crazy. You know, I'd done wrecked one car, and I did, and they let me. And hot laps were over. So I said, and that car had drew number one to qualify. So, and it hadn't made a lap. You know, so I said, just go out there and run around the bottom and get it in the show. We had quick time, and we wound up running third or fourth in the race. But then all of a sudden I was a driver, you know, and begging to drive any kind of car to getting to drive the best car out there. That was probably the biggest day in our career. I had Timmy Delrose, a lot of others to thank for that, but Timmy Delrose mainly.
Well, I have to ask, because we were talking about this last night at dinner, a group of us, and I was told that you're the only guy in the career of Hendrick Motorsports to not necessarily retire like some guys have from Hendrick, but you actually left Hendrick. You quit Hendrick, and no one in the career of Hendrick Motorsports has ever quit Rick Hendrick.
Yeah, it shows just how friggin' smart I am, doesn't it? No, I was there for 9 years, and Rick and Pop and them guys there, they were my best friends. Still are. I mean, obviously we lost Pop, but Rick, I talked to Rick a lot. But we just couldn't get nothing done. We could not get nothing done. And I called him one day and said, I'm done. He said, don't worry, we're going to fix it. And I said, no, I'm done. And, you know, that was the start of the spiral down for us. But we went to Petrie's next year and finished 10th in points. And the 25 car that I was driving then continued to have the same problems. So it's just, you know, you do what you think's right at the time, and I never look back on that.
And now into the modified racing. Obviously, you get to travel a lot with that. You do a lot of school racing with the Federated Auto Parts and what they do with you guys. And it's been really cool because you play a promoter side of things, track owner, if you will, with that. How do you balance all of it? Because, I mean, let's be honest, you're no spring chicken. We're 64 this year, 64 this year. So you do all this.
Older people. You know, there's older people out there, Ashley.
There is, you're right. But you do all this incredible stuff. You travel, you're getting shoulder surgery, you're still racing, you're doing all this crazy stuff. How do you keep it all balanced?
First off, there's nothing saying that it's balanced, you know. Our main thing is just to make sure we got the funding and the resources to play. And we're very fortunate that this is year 21 with us with Federated Auto Parts. And we do go out a lot, 60 days last year, all over the country, all 4 corners of the country and into Canada, where they bring their customers out and we let them drive, and then we give them a ride, and then we go someplace and do it again the next day. It's fun, you know, to see these people when they get out of the cars. So we kind of schedule some races around those days, and I don't know if it's really is organized, but it appears like it is sometimes.
You make it up and down the road, you still win races, you barrel roll race cars. And in all honesty, Ken, it's been truly awesome to really get to know you these last few years and hear the stories, because that means a whole lot to me, because it is really, really cool. And what you've done for this industry and this sport from all aspects, no matter what it is, asphalt or dirt, it's absolutely incredible. And I know that there's a little thing in the works for 50 years this year that's to celebrate you. And that's important, because our history of this sport is extremely important, and you're a huge part of that. And it's just been so much fun to watch.
Well, just remember, I don't know how old you are now, but being you started out as a racetrack brat, you'll be 50 years pretty damn quick, honey.
I've made it this far pretty quick, so I'm a little concerned on how quick the next few are going to go. But now that you're just getting to do what you love to do, is there one race throughout the year that you look forward to the most?
Oh, I don't think so. Well, probably.
DuQuoin.
DuQuoin, yeah, DuQuoin. I mean, every year I get my schedule and I start writing all this races down, and I get my red highlighter, and I don't highlight anything on there until I know for sure we're going. But DuQuoin's highlighted. You know, so yeah, DuQuoin and Bob Sargent Track Enterprise, they run the Silver Crown there, races there, and the ARCA races there, and I went there in 1964. I wasn't racing. Went there with my daddy. I was 9, I guess, and oh my gosh, I thought it was the biggest race in the world, and I just love going back.
And folks, if you have not seen the modifieds, especially, the ARCA cars are still impressive, but the modifieds at DuQuoin, what is it, 120 off of turn 4 in the long straightaways, and the cars darting left and right. It's pretty sketchy. So to see this guy out there, and you've won it how many years in a row now?
It's been pretty good to us.
That many times in a row. Absolutely incredible. Now, PRI, let's chat about it real quick since we're here, and then we'll let you go because we know you're a busy man. But PRI, you've been coming for years. What have you seen this year versus the other years? How much is this sport growing? What are your thoughts?
Well, I just see all the new stuff, you know, and there's a lot of people in here that are getting older. You know, I've noticed that, a lot of them. I don't want to point out any names, but there's a lot of, you know, you see the same faces over and over, and then you see all the kids walking around. And, you know, that they've got the same friggin' desire that you had 50 years ago, or still got. It looks pretty healthy right now, you know. I mean, not all the short tracks in the country are doing good, and we've got our struggles, that's for sure. The special shows all appear to be healthy. Mm-hmm. So, and nobody backing up on this deal, that's for sure. It looks like full speed ahead.
It's so true, and you've heard it from the legend himself. No, in all honesty, it's incredible what Ken does. Thank you so much for what you do for the sport, and thank you for what you do for us. But if you can't be at PRI, make sure you check them out on racingelectronics.com.